हेलो एवरीवन, आज आप पॉलिटी ਦੇ एमसीक्यू ਕਰਾਂਗੇ फंडामेंटल राइट्स ਤੇ। Fundamental rights are protected and guaranteed by the Constitution of the country. Which of the following is not a fundamental right? Right to property. According to the Indian Constitution, all are fundamental rights except right to property. Which of the following fundamental rights has been deleted from the original list of fundamental rights provided in the Constitution of India? Right to property. Which article provides freedom to manage its own affairs in matter of religion? Article 26. Which among of the following articles of the Constitution of India deals with the right to free and compulsory education of all children in the age group of 6 to 14 years? 21A. Which article of the Constitution of India abolishes the concept of untouchability and prohibits its practice in any form or shape? Article 17. Which of the following is not a fundamental right? Right to vote. Which article of the Constitution of India deals with the recognition of the right to education as a fundamental right? Article 21A. Which fundamental right was removed by the 44th Amendment Act? Compulsory acquisition of property. According to the Indian Constitution, no child below the age of 14 years shall be employed to work in any factory or mine or engage in any other hazardous employment. According to which fundamental right all persons are equal before law? Right to equality. Which of the following fundamental rights entails trafficking of human beings and forced labor? Right against exploitation. Which of the following not true about a right to religion in India? Freedom for forcible conversions. Which of the following fundamental rights in the Constitution of India stresses on prohibition of forced labor? Right against prohibition. X aged 10 is employed at a factory. Which of the following rights of X is being violated? Right against exploitation. Under which of the following articles right to equality mentioned? Article 14 to 18. Out of the following, which one is a fundamental right in the Constitution of India? A right to freedom. Article 32 of the Constitution of India deals with the right to constitutional remedies. Which of the following articles of the Indian Constitution deals with the right against exploitation? Article 23 to 24. Which of the following articles establishes the provision for the right to education? Article 21A. Article 19 of the Indian Constitution provides for how many types of freedom? 6. Fundamental rights are contained in Part 3 of the Constitution of India. What is the purpose of the cultural and educational rights? To protect the language, culture, and religion of the minority communities. Which of the following articles of the Indian Constitution cannot be suspended even during an emergency declared on the grounds of war or external aggression? Articles 20 and 21. With what is time period under Article 22 of the Constitution of India for every person who is arrested and detained in custody to be produced before the nearest magistrate within 24 hours? According to the Indian Constitution, the right to protection of life and personal liberty is a fundamental right of an individual. Which of the following articles of the Constitution of India provides for fundamental rights? Articles 12 to 35. The concept of fundamental rights has been taken from the Constitution of which country? United States of America. In the Indian Constitution, the right to freedom is covered from Article 19 to 22. Article 15 of the Constitution of India entails prohibition of discrimination against any citizen on grounds of on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. Which article of the Indian Constitution provides freedom to manage its own affairs in matter of religion? Article 26. A nine-judge bench of the Supreme Court unanimously held that Indians have a constitutionally protected fundamental right to privacy. Which of the following articles of the Indian Constitution is related to the right to freedom? Article 19. Which of the following articles deals with the prohibition of discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth? Article 15. Which of the following articles guarantees the right to equality before the law and right to equal protection of the laws? Article 14. How many fundamental rights and fundamental duties are prescribed in the Constitution of India? There are six fundamental rights and 11 fundamental duties. Articles related against right against exploitation. Article 23 to 24. A right to freedom of speech and expression is given under Article 19. In India, which of the following statements regarding fundamental duty is not correct? They are 11. They come under 51A. They are not inserted by 43rd Constitutional Amendment Act. If an Indian citizen is denied entry to a public place because of his caste, which of the following fundamental rights is denied to him? Right to equality. Which of the following articles of the Constitution of India prohibits employment of children in factories? Article 24. When was the right to property removed from the list of fundamental rights? 1978. Which articles of the Indian Constitution describes fundamental rights? Article 12 to 35. India is called a secular country because citizens have the fundamental right to freedom to profess religion of one's choice. Which among of the following is not a type of right to freedom in the Indian Constitution? Offences of armed assembly. Which of the following articles mentions that the state shall not deny to any person equality before the law or the equal protection of the laws within the territory of India? Article 14. Citizens are not discriminated against on the basis of religion, caste, or sex because of right to equality. How many types of writs can be issued by the Supreme Court of India for the protection of fundamental rights? 5. If a fundamental right of a citizen of India is violated, he has a choice of either approaching the Supreme Court directly or the High Court. So how did I test the result? So thank you for today. Thank you.